Ferdinand Porsche was born on September 3, 1875. He was born in a small town called Maffersdorf. At that time, the town was part of the Austro-Hungarian Empire. Today, it is in the Czech Republic. His father, Anton Porsche, was a blacksmith. A blacksmith works with metal and makes tools and parts. Ferdinand's father wanted him to learn the blacksmith trade and take over the family business one day. But young Ferdinand was more interested in electricity and machines. As a child, Ferdinand was very curious. He liked to take things apart to see how they worked. He was especially interested in electricity, which was still new at that time. Many homes did not even have electric lights. Ferdinand taught himself about electricity by reading books and experimenting at home. When he was still a teenager, he installed electric lighting in his family's home. This was very unusual at that time. People in his town were surprised by his skills. It was clear that he had special talent. Ferdinand did not attend a normal university like many engineers today. Instead, he learned by doing. He worked during the day and studied engineering in the evening. He took classes in Vienna while working full-time. He believed that real experience was just as important as school. In 1893, when Ferdinand was 18 years old, he moved to Vienna. He found a job at a company called Bella Egger & Company, which made electrical equipment. There, he worked with electric motors and batteries. This job helped him understand how electric systems work. At the end of the 1800s, cars were very new. Most people still used horses and carriages. There were three main types of early cars: steam-powered cars, gasoline-powered cars, electric cars. Ferdinand became very interested in electric cars. In 1898, he started working for a company called Lohner. The company wanted to build electric vehicles. In 1900, Ferdinand designed an electric car known as the Lohner Porsche. This car was shown at the Paris World Exhibition. It was special because it used electric motors in the wheel hubs. That means the motors were inside the wheels, not in the center of the car. This was a very advanced idea for that time. The Lohner Porsche was quiet and smooth. It did not need a gear system like gasoline cars. Some versions even used both a gasoline engine and electric motors. This made it one of the first hybrid cars in history. Ferdinand Porsche became famous for this design. Many people saw him as a young engineering genius. His ideas were ahead of his time. In 1906, Ferdinand Porsche left Lohner and joined Austro-Daimler. This company built cars and engines. Ferdinand quickly became the chief designer. At Austro-Daimler, he worked on both normal cars and racing cars. He believed that racing was important. Racing helped improve technology. If a car could win a race, it proved that the design was strong and fast. One of his racing cars won the Prince Heinrich Fahrt race in 1910. This victory made the company more famous. It also made Ferdinand Porsche more respected in the car world. During World War I, 1914 to 1918, Austro-Daimler made military vehicles and engines. Ferdinand designed aircraft engines and other machines for the war. This gave him experience with strong and powerful engines. After the war, the Austro-Hungarian Empire broke apart. The economy was weak. It was hard for car companies to survive. Ferdinand tried to build small, affordable cars, but the company had financial problems. In 1923, Ferdinand left Austro-Daimler. He wanted new challenges. After leaving Austro-Daimler, Ferdinand Porsche moved to Germany. He joined Daimler Motorengesellschaft in Stuttgart. This company later became part of Mercedes-Benz. At Daimler, Porsche continued to design powerful cars. He focused on supercharged engines. A supercharger forces more air into the engine, which makes the car more powerful. One famous car from this time was the Mercedes-Benz SSK. It was a very fast sports car. It won many races in the late 1920s. Porsche's designs helped make Mercedes cars known for performance and speed. But Ferdinand Porsche sometimes had disagreements with company leaders. He liked to take risks and try new ideas. Not everyone agreed with his style. In 1928, he left Daimler. For a short time, he worked at another German company called Steyr. However, The Great Depression began in 1929. Many companies lost money. Steyr had serious financial trouble. Ferdinand Porsche decided it was time to start his own company. In 1931, Ferdinand Porsche founded his own engineering company in Stuttgart. The company was called Dr. Ing, HCF Porsche GmbH. At first, the company did not build cars under the Porsche name. Instead, it offered design and engineering services to other car companies. Porsche and his small team designed cars and engines for clients. The company was small in the beginning. It had only a few engineers. Ferry Porsche, Ferdinand's son, also worked there. Ferry would later become very important to the company's future. One of Ferdinand Porsche's big dreams was to build a people's car. He wanted to create a small, affordable car for normal families. At that time, most cars were expensive. Only rich people could afford them. This idea of a small, affordable car would soon become very important. Ferdinand Porsche believed in simple but strong design. He believed that cars should be lightweight, efficient, reliable, fun to drive. He did not believe in making cars heavy or complicated without reason. He wanted performance through smart engineering, not just size. This philosophy later became part of Porsche's identity. Even today, Porsche cars focus on balance, performance, and engineering quality. Ferdinand Porsche also believed that racing helped improve road cars. Many ideas tested in racing later appeared in normal cars. This idea became a core part of Porsche's history. In the early 1930s, Germany was facing economic problems. Many people could not afford cars. Ferdinand Porsche's idea of a small, affordable car became more important. In 1933, he met Adolf Hitler, who had recently become the leader of Germany. Hitler wanted to build a people's car for German families. In German, this was called Volkswagen, which means people's car. Hitler liked Porsche's ideas. He asked Porsche to design this affordable car. This project would later become the famous Volkswagen Beetle. But the full story of the Volkswagen project in World War II belongs to the next section. In the early 1930s, Germany was in a very difficult situation. The country was suffering from the Great Depression. Many people had no jobs. Many families were poor. Very few people could afford a car. At that time, cars were seen as luxury items. Only wealthy people owned them. Most workers traveled by bicycle, train, or bus. In 1933, Adolf Hitler became the leader of Germany. He promised to improve the economy and create jobs. One of his ideas was to build a strong road network called the Autobahn. He also wanted German families to have access to an affordable car. He believed that every German worker should be able to own a small, simple car. This idea became known as the Volkswagen, which means people's car. Ferdinand Porsche had already been thinking about building a small and affordable car for many years. He believed that good engineering could create a simple, strong car at a low cost. In 1934, the German government officially gave Porsche the task of designing the Volkswagen. Porsche and his team were given clear instructions. The car had to carry 2 adults and 3 children, reach a speed of 100 km/h, about 62 mph, use little fuel, be affordable for workers, be strong and reliable. This was not an easy task. At that time, small and cheap cars often had poor performance. Porsche wanted to design something better. Ferdinand Porsche and his engineers worked very hard on the new car. They designed a small car with a rounded shape. The engine was placed in the back of the car. It was an air-cooled engine, which meant it did not need water to cool it. This made the car simpler and less likely to freeze in cold weather. The design was unusual. The car had a curved body and round headlights. The shape helped air flow smoothly around the car. This improved fuel efficiency. Many early prototypes were built and tested. Engineers drove them thousands of kilometers to check reliability. Problems were fixed and improved step by step. By the late 1930s, the design was ready. The car would later become known as the Volkswagen Beetle. It would become one of the most famous cars in history. However, before normal production could fully begin, the world was moving toward war. To produce the people's car, a large factory was needed. In 1938, construction began on a huge new factory in a new town. The town was later called Wolfsburg. The factory was owned by a new organization that would later become Volkswagen. The plan was to produce hundreds of thousands of cars every year. Workers were encouraged to save money in a special program so they could later receive their Volkswagen. But history took a different path. In 1939, World War II began. Germany invaded Poland, and many countries joined the war. Civilian car production was stopped in Germany. Instead of building cars for families, factories were ordered to build military vehicles. The Volkswagen factory stopped preparing for civilian Beetle production. Instead, it began building military vehicles based on the Beetle design. Two important military vehicles were created. The Kübelwagen, a light military vehicle. The Schwimmwagen, a vehicle that could drive on land and float on water. These vehicles used the same basic engine and platform as the Beetle. They were simple, light, and easy to repair. This made them useful for the German army. During the war, Ferdinand Porsche and his company worked on many military projects. These included tanks and other heavy vehicles. One of the most famous projects was the Tiger tank. Porsche designed a version of the Tiger tank, but another company's design was chosen for large production. Still, Porsche remained involved in armored vehicle design. He also worked on other heavy military machines. Some of these designs were very complex and advanced. Porsche liked bold ideas, even if they were difficult to produce. The war years were very busy for the Porsche company. The engineering office grew larger. Many engineers worked on government projects. However, these projects connected the company closely to the German war effort. This would later cause serious problems. World War II was a tragic time. Millions of people suffered. The Volkswagen factory, like many factories in Germany, used forced labor during the war. Workers from occupied countries were forced to work under harsh conditions. This is an important and serious part of history. Many companies in Germany later had to face and accept responsibility for what happened during that time. The war created great suffering across Europe. The car industry was deeply connected to military production. Porsche's company was not only building cars, it was helping build machines for war. By 1944 and 1945, Germany was losing the war. Allied forces bombed many factories. The Volkswagen factory was damaged by air attacks. In 1945, Germany surrendered. World War II ended in Europe. After the war, Germany was divided into different zones, controlled by the Allied powers. The future of many German companies was uncertain. The Porsche company faced a very difficult situation. After the war, Ferdinand Porsche traveled to France. He was invited to discuss car projects. However, French authorities arrested him in 1945. He was accused of being involved in war activities and forced labor programs. He was held in prison for nearly 2 years. During this time, he was not officially convicted in a trial, but he was not free. This was a very hard time for the Porsche family. Ferdinand Porsche was already 70 years old. His health became weaker in prison. To secure his release, a large payment was required. The family struggled to find the money. While Ferdinand Porsche was in prison, his son, Ferry Porsche, took control of the company. Ferry believed strongly in his father's ideas. The engineering office had been moved to Gmünd, Austria, during the war to avoid bombing. There, in a small workshop, Ferry and a small team began working on a new idea. They decided to build their own sports car using parts from the Volkswagen design. This car would later become the Porsche 356. After the war, the Volkswagen factory was located in the British occupation zone. The British Army took control of the factory. At first, there were ideas to destroy the factory or take the machines as war payment. But a British officer named Major Ivan Hurst saw potential in the factory. He decided to restart production of the Volkswagen Beetle. Production slowly began again in 1945 under British control. The Beetle started to become popular because it was simple, strong, and affordable. Even though Ferdinand Porsche had designed the Beetle, his company did not control the Volkswagen factory. Volkswagen became a separate company. This separation would later shape the relationship between Porsche and Volkswagen for many decades. In 1947, Ferdinand Porsche was finally released from prison after a financial settlement was paid. He returned to Austria, but his health was not good. He had suffered physically and emotionally. In 1950, Ferdinand Porsche died at the age of 75. He did not live to see the full success of the Porsche sports cars. But his ideas, his engineering philosophy, and his early designs continued through his son Ferry. While Ferdinand Porsche was in prison in France, his son Ferry Porsche took control of the family company. Ferry had grown up around cars and engineering. He understood his father's ideas very well. He believed strongly in lightweight, smart design and performance. After the war, the company had moved to a small town called Gmünd in Austria. They were working in a simple wooden building. There were only a few workers. There was little money. Materials like steel and aluminum were difficult to find. Ferry later said, "I looked around and could not find the sports car of my dreams, so I decided to build it myself." This simple idea changed the future of Porsche forever. In 1948, the company built its first sports car. It was called the Porsche 356. The Porsche 356 used many parts from the Volkswagen Beetle. This made sense because the company had experience with those parts, and they were reliable. But the 356 was very different from the Beetle in feeling and performance. Rear-mounted engine, lightweight body, simple but beautiful design, good balance and handling, air-cooled engine. The first 356 was built with an aluminum body to save weight. It was small and very light. Because it was light, it did not need a very large engine to be fast. The first car was finished in June 1948. It received official approval for road use in Austria. This car is now known as the 356 No. 1 Roadster. Only a few cars were built in Gmünd, but they proved something important. Porsche could build its own sports cars. By 1949, the company decided to move back to Stuttgart, Germany. This was the city where the Porsche engineering office had originally been located before the war. Stuttgart was also close to the Volkswagen factory in Wolfsburg. This helped with supply of parts. Production of the Porsche 356 slowly increased. At first, bodies were built by hand. A company called Reuter built many of the car bodies. Assembly was still slow and careful. The early 1950s were a time of rebuilding for Germany. The economy slowly improved. This period later became known as the economic miracle. As Germany recovered, more people could afford cars. Some buyers wanted small, sporty cars. Porsche began to attract attention. From the beginning, Porsche believed that racing was very important. Racing proved that a car was strong and fast. In 1951, Porsche achieved an important victory at the 24 Hours of Le Mans in France. A Porsche 356 won its class in this famous endurance race. This was a big moment for the young company. Le Mans was one of the hardest races in the world. Cars had to drive for 24 hours without stopping, except for fuel and repairs. Winning there showed that Porsche cars were reliable and well-designed. More racing success followed. Porsche cars won many small and mid-level races in Europe and later in America. Racing helped build the brand name. People began to see Porsche as a company that built serious sports cars. During the 1950s, the Porsche 356 was improved step by step. New versions were introduced: 356A, 356B, 356C. Each version had improvements in engine power, brakes, suspension, and comfort. At first, the engines were not very powerful, but because the cars were light, they still felt quick and fun to drive. Over time, engine size increased. By the late 1950s, some 356 models had over 100 horsepower. For such a small car, this was impressive. The design also became smoother and more refined. The round headlights and curved body shape became a Porsche's signature style. By the end of production, more than 75,000 Porsche 356 cars had been built. For a small company, this was a big success. Ferry Porsche was different from his father in some ways. Ferdinand Porsche was a strong and sometimes difficult personality. Ferry was calmer and more diplomatic. But both men shared a strong belief in engineering excellence. Ferry believed in keeping the company independent. He did not want Porsche to become too large or lose its focus. He also believed that every Porsche should feel like a sports car, even if it was used every day. Under Ferry's leadership, Porsche remained a family-controlled company. The Porsche and Piëch families owned and managed the business. In the 1950s, Porsche began selling cars in the United States. This became very important. American buyers liked European sports cars. The United States had a growing middle class. Many people had money to spend on fun cars. Importers helped bring Porsche cars to America. Sales slowly increased. The American market would later become one of Porsche's most important markets. In 1950, shortly after being released from prison, Ferdinand Porsche died at age 75. He did not live long enough to see Porsche become a major sports car brand, but his ideas lived on through Ferry and the engineering team. The company continued to follow the basic principles Ferdinand believed in: rear engine layout, air-cooled engines, lightweight construction, racing development. These ideas shaped the future of Porsche. By the late 1950s, the Porsche 356 was becoming old in design. Ferry Porsche knew the company needed a new model. In the early 1960s, work began on a new sports car. It was originally called the 901. This car would later become the famous Porsche 911. The new car had a 6-cylinder engine, more powerful than the 356's 4-cylinder engine, a larger body, better comfort, modern styling. The 911 kept the rear engine layout. It also kept the smooth, curved shape that people now connected with Porsche. In 1963, the Porsche 911 was officially introduced at the Frankfurt Motor Show. This moment was very important. The 911 would become the heart of the Porsche brand for decades. By 1963, Porsche was no longer a small workshop in Austria. It was a respected German sports car manufacturer. The company had built thousands of 356 models, won many races, entered the American market, created a new flagship model, the 911. Porsche had developed a strong identity: small but powerful, light but strong, sporty but reliable. Customers did not just buy a Porsche for transportation. They bought it for driving pleasure. During these years, Porsche developed a strong company culture. Engineers worked closely together. The company was not huge, so communication was direct. Problems were solved quickly. Racing and road car development were connected. Lessons learned on the track were used to improve normal cars. Porsche engineers focused on balance. They wanted cars that handled well, not just cars that were fast in a straight line. This careful engineering approach helped build long-term success. The company still faced challenges during this period. It was small compared to big car companies. Production numbers were limited. Financial risks were always present. Developing new models was expensive. If a model failed, it could seriously hurt the company. But so far, Porsche had made smart decisions. Between 1945 and 1963, Porsche changed from a small, struggling company into a respected sports car manufacturer. During this period, Ferry Porsche rebuilt the company after the war. The Porsche 356 became the first true Porsche sports car. Racing victories built the brand's reputation. The company expanded into international markets. The Porsche 911 was introduced in 1963. The foundation of modern Porsche was built during these years. The 911 would soon become one of the most famous sports cars in history. When the Porsche 911 was introduced in 1963, it was very modern for its time. It had a rear-mounted 6-cylinder engine, air-cooling strong performance, a smooth, curved body design. At first, some people were unsure about the new model. It was more expensive than the old 356. It was also more powerful, which made it harder to drive for some beginners. But drivers quickly learned to respect and love the 911. It was fast, exciting, and different from other sports cars. During the late 1960s, Porsche improved the 911 step by step. New versions were released with more power and better handling. One very important version was the 911S. It had a stronger engine and better performance. Porsche also introduced the Targa version, which had a removable roof panel. This gave drivers the feeling of a convertible while keeping safety and body strength. The 911 became Porsche's main product. It built the company's identity as a maker of serious sports cars. Racing was always important to Porsche. During this period, racing success became one of the company's greatest strengths. In the late 1960s, Porsche entered top-level endurance racing. One of the most famous races in the world is the 24 Hours of Le Mans in France. Le Mans is very difficult. Cars must race for 24 hours straight. They must be fast but also very reliable. In 1970, Porsche achieved a huge success. With the powerful Porsche 917, the company won the overall victory at Le Mans for the first time. The Porsche 917 was a very powerful race car. It had a large flat 12 engine and could reach extremely high speeds. At first, it was difficult to control, but engineers improved it. The victory in 1970 was followed by another win in 1971. These wins made Porsche a global racing champion. Over the years, Porsche would go on to win Le Mans many times. The company became known as one of the most successful manufacturers in endurance racing history. In the 1970s, Porsche decided not to depend only on the 911. The company wanted to expand its model range. One new model was the Porsche 914. It was a smaller sports car with a mid-engine layout. It was developed in cooperation with Volkswagen. The 914 was more affordable than the 911. Later, Porsche introduced the 924. This car was different from earlier Porsches. It had a front-mounted engine water cooling, a more modern design. Some traditional Porsche fans did not like these changes. They felt Porsche should always build rear-engine, air-cooled cars like the 911. But the new models helped Porsche reach new customers. They were less expensive and easier to drive. In 1977, Porsche introduced the 928. This was a very advanced car with a powerful V8 engine in the front. It was designed to possibly replace the 911. However, the 911 remained very popular. Many customers preferred its unique character. In 1973, the world faced the oil crisis. Oil prices increased sharply. Many people worried about fuel consumption. Sports cars were often seen as fuel-hungry and unnecessary. This created uncertainty for Porsche. But Porsche cars were relatively light and efficient compared to some large American sports cars. This helped the company survive. Still, the 1970s were not easy. Economic problems in many countries reduced demand for expensive cars. Porsche had to manage its finances carefully. The company remained smaller than many big car manufacturers, which helped it stay flexible. In the mid-1970s, Porsche introduced turbocharging to road cars. Turbocharging forces more air into the engine, which increases power. In 1975, Porsche introduced the 911 Turbo, also known as the 930. It was extremely fast for its time. The 911 Turbo had a powerful turbocharged engine, wide rear fenders, a large rear spoiler. It became one of the most famous sports cars of the era. Turbo technology was first tested in racing. Porsche used turbocharged engines in race cars like the 911 30 in North America. Racing success helped improve road cars. This connection between track and street remained very important. During the 1970s and 1980s, the United States became Porsche's largest market. American buyers loved the 911. They liked its performance and European style. Porsche built strong dealer networks in the US. Racing success in America also helped the brand grow. For example, Porsche race cars were very successful in the Can-Am Racing series. By the 1980s, Porsche was seen as a symbol of success. Owning a Porsche showed that someone had achieved financial success. During this period, Porsche continued to innovate. The company improved suspension systems, braking systems, Aerodynamics, engine performance. Porsche engineers worked hard to balance power and control. The rear engine layout of the 911 created special driving characteristics. Skilled drivers loved it, but it required respect. Over time, Porsche improved stability and safety while keeping the exciting driving feel. In 1984, Porsche introduced the 959, a very advanced supercar. It had all-wheel drive, twin turbochargers, advanced electronics. The 959 showed that Porsche could build one of the most advanced cars in the world. It was expensive and built in small numbers, but it demonstrated Porsche's engineering strength. During these years, Porsche remained controlled by the Porsche and Piëch families. The company changed its structure in 1972. It became a public limited company, AG, but family members still held strong influence. This structure helped Porsche raise money while keeping family control. However, family management sometimes led to internal disagreements. Still, the company remained focused on performance and engineering excellence. By the late 1980s, Porsche faced serious problems. The global economy slowed down. The US dollar weakened compared to the German currency. This made Porsche cars more expensive in America. Sales dropped sharply. At the same time, production costs were high. Porsche still used many traditional production methods. The company was less efficient than large manufacturers like Toyota. By the end of the 1980s, Porsche was in financial trouble. The company had strong products, but it needed better management and more efficient production. This crisis would become even more serious in the early 1990s. Between 1963 and 1989, Porsche experienced the rise of the 911 major racing victories, expansion into new models, turbo technology success, growth in global markets. Financial challenges. The 911 had survived attempts to replace it. Racing had made Porsche a legend. The brand was respected worldwide, but the company was no longer small and simple. It was now a global brand with complex challenges. As the 1990s began, Porsche faced one of the biggest crises in its history. In the next section, we will see how Porsche nearly failed in the early 1990s, and how new models like the Porsche Boxster and the Porsche Cayenne helped save the company and lead it into a new era of success. But by the early 1990s, Porsche faced one of the biggest crises in its history. This section explains how Porsche nearly failed, how it changed its strategy, and how new models like the Porsche Boxster and the Porsche Cayenne helped save the company between 1990 and 2008. At the start of the 1990s, Porsche was in trouble. Sales were falling, costs were high, the global economy was weak, the US dollar was weak compared to the German currency. This made Porsche cars more expensive in America, which was Porsche's biggest market. In 1986, Porsche sold more than 50,000 cars. But by 1993, sales dropped to around 14,000 cars per year. This was very dangerous for a small company. The company still built cars in traditional ways. Production was slow and expensive. Compared to large companies like Toyota, Porsche was not very efficient. Many people feared Porsche might not survive. In 1993, a new CEO named Wendelin Wiedeking took control of Porsche. Wiedeking made bold changes. He believed Porsche needed better production efficiency, lower costs, stronger focus on quality, new models to attract new customers. He studied Japanese manufacturing methods, especially from Toyota. He introduced lean production systems. This meant less waste, faster production, better organization, higher quality control. Factories became more modern and efficient. Costs were reduced. Workers were trained in new methods. These changes helped stabilize the company. One of the most important decisions was to create a new, affordable sports car. In 1996, Porsche introduced the Porsche Boxster. The Boxster was very important for several reasons. It was cheaper than the 911. It had a modern mid-engine layout. It attracted younger buyers. It brought new customers to Porsche. The name Boxster came from two words: boxer, referring to the flat engine design. Roadster, meaning a two-seat sports car. The Boxster had strong handling, good balance, modern styling, reliable performance. It became a big success. The Boxster helped Porsche increase sales quickly. It also brought financial stability. For the first time in years, Porsche was growing again. While the Boxster brought new customers, the Porsche 911 remained the heart of the brand. In 1997, Porsche introduced a completely new generation of the 911, called the 996 generation. This was a big change because it switched from air cooling to water cooling. It shared many parts with the Boxster. It had a more modern design. Some traditional fans were unhappy about the end of air cooling, but water cooling allowed better performance, better emissions control, more reliability, more power. The 911 continued to sell well. By sharing parts between the Boxster and the 911, Porsche saved money and improved efficiency. In the late 1990s, Porsche made one of the most controversial decisions in its history. The company decided to build an SUV. At that time, Porsche was known only for sports cars. Many fans believed Porsche should never build a large family vehicle, but company leaders saw an opportunity. SUVs were becoming very popular, especially in the United States. They offered space, comfort, high driving position, all-wheel drive. In 2002, Porsche introduced the Porsche Cayenne. The Cayenne was developed in cooperation with Volkswagen Group. It shared some parts with the Volkswagen Touareg. Many people were shocked. A Porsche SUV? It seemed strange, but the Cayenne became a huge success. It sold very well around the world. It attracted families and customers who needed more space but still wanted performance. The Cayenne made large profits. In fact, it became one of the most important cars in Porsche's history. Without the Cayenne, Porsche might not have become so financially strong. By the mid-2000s, Porsche was very profitable. The company had the 911, iconic sports car, the Boxster, affordable sports car, the Cayenne, luxury SUV. This mix of products gave Porsche strong income. Profits increased year after year. Porsche became one of the most profitable car companies in the world on a per-car basis. The company was no longer in danger. It was strong again. In 2005, Porsche introduced another sports car, the Cayman. The Cayman was based on the Boxster but had a fixed roof. It offered strong performance at a lower price than the 911. The model range now included 911, Boxster, Cayman, Cayenne. This variety helped Porsche reach more customers without losing its sporty identity. By the mid-2000s, Porsche was very profitable. Something unexpected happened next. Porsche began buying shares in Volkswagen Group. At first, this seemed strange. Volkswagen was much larger than Porsche, but Porsche slowly increased its ownership. By 2008, Porsche controlled a large percentage of Volkswagen shares. The goal was to gain control of Volkswagen. This was one of the most dramatic moments in Porsche's history. At one point, Porsche briefly became the largest shareholder in Volkswagen. There was even a moment when Volkswagen became the most valuable company in the world because of share market changes. However, the global financial crisis of 2008 changed everything. In 2008, the world faced a major financial crisis. Banks collapsed. Stock markets fell. Many companies lost money. Porsche had borrowed large amounts of money to buy Volkswagen shares. When financial markets became unstable, Porsche faced serious financial pressure. The company that had once tried to take over Volkswagen now found itself in danger again. Instead of Porsche taking over Volkswagen, the situation reversed. In the end, Volkswagen gained control of Porsche's car business. This marked the beginning of a new chapter. By 2009, Porsche's car business became part of Volkswagen Group. The Porsche family remained involved, but the company was now part of a much larger automotive group. Some people saw this as the end of Porsche's independence. Others saw it as a smart move for long-term stability. Being part of Volkswagen gave Porsche financial security, access to shared technology, larger global reach. The attempted takeover had failed, but Porsche survived. Between 1990 and 2008, Porsche experienced near bankruptcy, major factory changes, new production systems, the success of the Boxster, the controversial but profitable Cayenne record financial growth, a dramatic takeover battle with Volkswagen, the global financial crisis. Few car companies have faced such extreme ups and downs in less than 20 years. At the beginning of the 1990s, Porsche almost collapsed. By the mid-2000s, it became one of the most profitable car companies in the world. This period proved something important about Porsche. The company was willing to change. It modernized production. It introduced new models. It entered new markets. It took financial risks. Some decisions were controversial, some were risky, but they saved the company. The Porsche Boxster brought new customers. The Porsche Cayenne brought strong profits. The 911 continued to protect the brand's identity. By the end of 2008, Porsche was no longer just a small sports car maker. It was a powerful global brand connected to one of the largest automotive groups in the world. In the next section, we will explore how Porsche entered the electric age with cars like the Porsche Taycan, and how the company continues to innovate in the modern era. Many people wondered what would happen next. Would Porsche lose its identity? Would it still build true sports cars? Instead of becoming weaker, Porsche entered one of the most successful and innovative periods in its history. After the financial crisis of 2008, Porsche's car business officially became part of Volkswagen Group in 2009 to 2012. The full integration took a few years. This change gave Porsche financial stability, access to shared technology, larger global production systems, stronger research and development support. Even though Porsche was part of a larger group, it kept its own identity, design team, and engineering culture. Porsche remained based in Stuttgart, Germany. The 911 continued to be developed by Porsche engineers. One of the biggest reasons for Porsche's modern success has been SUVs. The Porsche Cayenne, first introduced in 2002, continued to sell very well after 2009. New generations of the Cayenne were introduced with better engines, improved interior quality, advanced technology hybrid versions. In 2014, Porsche introduced a smaller SUV called the Porsche Macan. The Macan quickly became one of Porsche's best-selling models. It was smaller and less expensive than the Cayenne, which made it attractive to more buyers. Many traditional sports car fans once criticized Porsche for building SUVs. But in reality, SUV sales helped fund the development of sports cars like the 911 and new technologies. Today, SUVs make up a large part of Porsche's global sales. The Porsche 911 remains the heart of the company. After 2009, several new generations of the 911 were introduced. 997 continued from earlier generation. 991, 992, current generation. Each generation improved. Engine performance, fuel efficiency, handling interior comfort, safety system. Even though the 911 has changed over the years, it still keeps its classic shape and rear engine layout. Porsche carefully balances tradition and innovation. The car looks familiar, but under the surface it becomes more advanced with every generation. Special high-performance versions like the 911 GT3 and 911 Turbo continue to show Porsche's racing DNA. As environmental rules became stricter, car companies needed to reduce emissions. Porsche decided not only to follow the rules, but also to innovate. In 2013, Porsche introduced the Porsche 918 Spyder. The 918 Spyder was a plug-in hybrid supercar. It combined a powerful V8 gasoline engine, 2 electric motors, advanced battery technology. Together, the system produced extremely high performance while also improving efficiency. The 918 Spyder proved that hybrid technology could be exciting and fast. It became one of the most advanced cars Porsche had ever built. This car also prepared Porsche for a fully electric future. Porsche returned to top-level endurance racing in the 2010s. With the 919 hybrid race car, Porsche won the 24 Hours of Le Mans multiple times between 2015 and 2017. The 919 hybrid used advanced hybrid systems, combining gasoline power with electric energy recovery systems. Racing helped Porsche develop better battery systems, energy management, and electric motors. Once again, Porsche followed its tradition: learn from racing, improve road cars. In 2019, Porsche introduced its first fully electric sports car, the Porsche Taycan. This was a very important moment in Porsche history. Many people asked, can a fully electric car still feel like a Porsche? The Taycan answered that question. It offered very fast acceleration, sharp handling, high-quality interior, advanced digital systems, zero tailpipe emissions. Unlike many electric cars, the Taycan focused strongly on driving performance. It showed that Porsche was serious about the electric future. Sales of the Taycan were strong in many markets, including Europe, China, and the United States. Modern Porsche cars now include advanced technologies such as large digital displays, driver assistance systems, connectivity features, over-the-air software updates. But Porsche engineers try to keep the driving experience emotional and engaging. Even with modern technology, Porsche cars are designed to feel connected to the road. Today, car companies face strong environmental regulations. Porsche has announced plans to increase electric vehicle production, develop synthetic fuels, e-fuels, reduce factory emissions, improve recycling systems. Porsche wants a large percentage of its sales to be electric by the end of this decade. The company is investing heavily in battery development and charging infrastructure. Factories are also becoming more energy efficient. Porsche now sells cars all over the world. Important markets include Germany, United States, China, United Kingdom, Middle East. China has become one of Porsche's largest markets in recent years. Production takes place mainly in Germany, especially in Stuttgart and Leipzig. Even though Porsche is part of Volkswagen Group, it keeps its own brand image and design philosophy. In 2022, Porsche had a major financial event. Porsche AG was listed on the stock market in one of Europe's largest public offerings. This allowed investors to buy shares in Porsche separately from Volkswagen Group. The Porsche and Piëch families remained important shareholders. The listing showed how valuable the Porsche brand had become. One of Porsche's biggest challenges today is balance. The company must keep the spirit of classic sports cars, develop electric vehicles, follow environmental rules, compete with new electric brands, maintain profitability. The 911 still uses a gasoline engine, but Porsche is also developing hybrid versions. At the same time, models like the Taycan represent the electric future. This mix of old and new defines modern Porsche. Porsche is not only about machines, it is about passion, driving joy, motorsport history, design tradition. Many Porsche owners feel strong loyalty to the brand. Classic models like the 356 and early 911s are now valuable collector cars. Porsche supports classic car restoration through its heritage programs. The company understands that its history is part of its strength. The future is not simple. Porsche faces strong competition from electric car companies, changing customer preferences, economic uncertainty, environmental pressure. But Porsche has survived many difficult times before. World War II financial crisis in the early 1990s. Global crisis in 2008. Each time, the company adapted. From 2009 to today, Porsche has entered a new era. During this period, the company became fully integrated into Volkswagen Group, expanded SUV sales with the Cayenne and Macan, continued improving the 911, built advanced hybrid supercars like the 918, Spider, returned to racing success, entered the electric age with the Taycan, became publicly listed on the stock market. Porsche today is stronger than ever. It combines racing heritage, engineering precision, modern technology, global business strength. From a small engineering office founded in 1931, Porsche has grown into one of the most respected sports car brands in the world. And as the world moves toward electric mobility, Porsche continues to follow its original belief: build cars that are exciting to drive, intelligently engineered, and true to their spirit. The story of Porsche is not finished. It is still being written.